Hello YouTube. So long time no see. So today is Sunday and I just want to sit down and want to talk to you about a saying that I think you have heard about it too, which is trading is not a sprint. Trading is a marathon. So a few years ago when I heard about that saying, it's like, yeah, probably sprint is more like fast and marathon is more like consistent in your speed, in your pace. It's more about long term and longevity in the way you run. But when I started to train for a half marathon 1 year ago, up until now, I accumulated around more than 1,200 kilometers in all my running. And to be honest, I highly recommend every one of you to put your shoe on and run some miles. Because for me, I prefer just running along in darkness, in day, in night, whatever. Just running along and having the wisdom dropping into my head. And yeah, it's just weird, but I feel amazing just running and enjoy the time for myself. But for other people, maybe they prefer running in group or running with friends, whatever fit you. But run, just run, and you will see what I mean eventually. So when I trained for a marathon, when I started to run, I realized that it's more than just trading. It's more about life, and of course, you will like when you heard a saying, maybe you understand like I say, well, marathon is more long term, sprint is short term, kind of stuff. But when you actually put yourself into that experiences, that's where the true growth happen. Imagine every single spot, every single like thing you do in life, it actually has something for you, for me to learn. And when we do that, we actually do that. And after a while, it's like we unlock something within our mind. And that's where we feel like we got wisdom dropping into our head. And that's what I feel when I was training for my half marathon. So back to 1 year ago when I heard about like the running thing, I just pay what I usually do for my experiences, either traveling, sport, marathon, or conference, whatever. I usually just pay upfront, and either I can do that or either I'm gonna lose that money. And every single time I do that, I usually just so motivated to train. When I just pay for the half marathon all the way, even like I'm not sure if I can do that, but I know that it will help me to improve, to evolve, not only as like in my health, in my I can only see the upside. That's the reason why I usually do that. When I see something interesting, I usually just pay, and during the process of preparation, during the process of training, that's where the two growth happen. Because I don't care if I actually can go to the half marathon or finishing it or get the medal. It's more about the training. It's more about the process. That's what really matters, and it was amazing. So I trained for around 4 weeks. I got like the maximum run of myself before I ran the first half marathon was like 10 kilometers, but during the run, it was quite different. There are a lot of people, thousands of people, the atmosphere, the motivation, the support from like you got water, you got gel, you got a lot of stuff, and it's like it got easier mentally and physically to finish the race because you got a lot of support. But the thing is that what I say, the process is what really matters. And to be honest, I want to tell you like a deeper experiences during the kind of training. Because when you run, when you spend time, and when you like hit a plateau where you feel like you cannot keep going, but you just did, and I just did, and I was just keep going, and eventually I finished 21 kilometers, and it felt incredible. It felt like you achieved something that you put your mind to, and not only, the most important thing is that now you know that you have the capacity to do more than you ever imagined. And I think that's what matters when you push yourself, not really too hard, but in a good way, in a positive way every single day. Just always do your best. That is what I usually tell to myself. It's never a competition. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is during the race. So during the race, because there are so many people, everyone is like so motivated, and everyone is like want to finish this competition, and some people that actually take the thing very serious because they do running for a living. So there are some people they actually run really fast at the beginning, try to burn down at later. And when I was running just really slow, I was running like pace 9, pace 8, and eventually the people that start really fast, they usually end up like in the bottom of the leaderboard. So that is the thing. When you force yourself, when you let the outside environment, the external factors to try you, that is so similar to trading. When you make testing, when you trade in demo, when you repair every single thing really carefully. But when you got into live trading, you got to social media, you got to see a lot of people get funded, you got to see a lot of people making thousands every single day, and it pushed you to be motivated in a very in a way that you want to make it right away. And the more you want it, the faster your trades, or you force yourself to trade the setup that you don't want to. You force yourself to break your rules, and you let the P&L try you instead of the plan, instead of the rules, instead of what you backstated. And that's so similar like in the race. When people first started, they just run in a group like thousands of people. They try to run really fast, and it's especially with the new people, that if that is the first race, then usually they just run really fast at the beginning just to end up like a lot of people like they didn't even finish the race because they spent all their energy in the beginning, and then they burned out so hard that they could not finish like 21 kilometers. So that is the thing. That's what I saw during the time when I went to the race. And for myself personally, when I got to like 15 kilometers, that's when I hit my plateau, because the maximum I was able to do is like 10 kilometers. And when I got to 15 kilometers, I felt about to give up. But then I just keep walking and run and walk and run and walk, and eventually I just finished the race. I think it's around less than 3 hours. Not as expected. I was thinking that I will finish like more than 3 hours, but I finished it in less than 3 hours, which really I surprised myself. And the only thing that I was like focused is the next step. So one more step, and I did, and then I finished the race. So it reminds me that if you apply to the trading thing, it's all about the next trade, isn't it? The past trade, how many kilometers you have run, how many trades you have took, it doesn't matter now. It's all about the next trade. How good we are gonna execute that trade, how well we are gonna manage ourselves during the kind of trade. And after we try our best on that trade, we move to the next, and to the next, and to the next. But when we take one trade, we win, we take it personally, we take another trade, we lose, we take it personally, and on the next trade, highly likely that we're gonna do something stupid. But when we only focus on making our next trade the bad trade, and the bad trade is following the rule, following what you planned, following what you backtested, and execute it no matter what. And that is, for me, is the bad trade. The bad trade is not a perfect trade. The bad trade is a trade that you have no regret. Either it's a win or a loss, you move on to the next, and to the next. And after a series of trade, boom, you got like profitable. That's what really matters, I think. And in marathon, that's what I did. One step at a time, one step at a time. And when I got to the finish line, it felt a little emotional too, because I mean, I'm not like ranking like first place, second place, but it's never about the competition. It's more about you compete with yourself. And that's not a competition. That is a way of realization that you are more than you ever imagined. You can do so much more. And the way people say, like, the way people put their limitation to earth, the way I think, and you know, when I got to the kind of level right now, I am not confident to run a full marathon, like 42 kilometers, because I haven't been training hard enough. But I felt so easy to finish any half marathon, 21 kilometers. I feel easy, and I feel so possible. And 1 year ago, with this herniation in my back, and the doctor said that I should not be running, and I barely can walk. But right now, even compared to a full marathon, it feels like I'm so tiny. But if I compare me to myself 1 year ago, I felt empowered. I felt so motivation. I feel so motivated, and I feel like we can do anything if we put our mind to. And I mean, even the next full marathon that I'm going to run, even I fail, does it matter? No, because right now I am training more. Right now I'm pushing myself, and today I am very close to break my personal record, and that's what matters. Either I win or I lose in that competition, I still win. That's what matters. That's what running is all about to me. It's never about, I mean, if you do running for a living, that's a different thing. You need to run as fast as you can. You need to like, because your family, your kids, whatever, they all depend on your running record. So you better be fast. But but what I'm saying is, like, we the trader, we know for a fact that trading is a marathon, but how many of us we actually run a marathon? Because that's all. It's very easy to say anything, trade with the trend, cut your loss quick, let your winner run, whatever. But how many actually doing the thing like trade like a sniper? Trading is a marathon, but how many of us are sniper? How many of us are marathon finisher? And you know what is more beautiful? Another beautiful realization that running give me is when you want to run a full marathon, you gonna train. And if you want to run full marathon for the whole year, or for like once a year or twice a year, then you got to keep running, and you got to keep training, because that's what makes you a runner. That's what brings you here, and training will keep you here. That is the same to trading. Even now, you backtesting, you repair your trading plan, you do weekend analysis, you do journaling, you study your data, whatever you are doing. At some point, see things gonna bring you some result. And if you want that result to keep unfolding your way with profits, of course, then you're gonna keep doing the things that brought you to that result. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if you saw it on the social media, but usually when we got like 1 week, 2 weeks of winning streak, we got euphoria. We feel like we crack the code. We feel like we break the market. We feel like we know what the algorithm is gonna do. For sure, we know that the next cycle of the market is what. We try some shit and we feel invincible. And that's what I usually say. When you feel like you get it, that's where you lost it. Even you are, or even I am the number one trader in the world. It requires so many things, so many sacrifice, so many training to bring us here. And if that's what makes you number one, then doing the thing over and over will keep you number one. Does that make sense? So I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but there are a lot of metaphors, there are a lot of things that it doesn't matter how hard I try to explain it. Eventually, I think we got to put ourselves into that experiences. I have been training in dream for a while, for years before I got this herniation, and to be honest, I never think running can be that hard, especially the final miles of a half marathon or a full marathon. That's where you feel extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. I train superset, I train drop set, I train I always find every single workout plan I can do in dream. Probably I am the weirdest guy in the dream with so many new workout every single week. But when it comes to running, it's very different. And I think you got to try it. And you don't need to love it. But if you want the things, the wisdom that every sport have, you got to put yourself in it. And I think it's beautiful experiences in running. Just like skydiving. Until you tried it, nobody can tell you how beautiful it is. And it scares the fuck out of me. Skydiving is a thing that when I sit here in the office, in the ground, I want to try. But when they fly me up into the sky where I can barely see anything, I want to stop. It just freaks me out. And skydiving is beautiful as well. So that's the reason why life is beautiful. That's the reason why there's so many things. Maybe it's not trading, but it can improve yourself as a trader. Running is one of them. I see you on the next video.